seeing that the love is real, that the shoe might fit. She might just be my everything and beyond space and time in the afterlife. Will she have my kids? Will she be my wife? She might just be my everything and beyond.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I hope you guys had a great week and are looking toward the weekend. I don't know what you do. I don't know if you're entrepreneurs and maybe you don't have a weekend or you have a side hustle, but either way, whatever your weekend brings, hopefully it is your choice. Last Friday, what I did is I talked a little bit about clarity. And I talked about this idea that if you don't have an idea of where you are going and the person that you want to be in the world, then you're never going to get there. It's going to be really difficult and everything is going to feel like it is against you, when the reality is you actually just don't know what direction you're heading. And so, yes, things feel like they're in your way because everything's in your way because you don't know where you're going. It occurred to me as I was thinking back on that episode and I was kind of looking at some of the feedback that it might be more important, or not more important, but it might be just as applicable to know where you are starting, because you can never know where you're going if you don't know where you are right now. And I know throughout the whole show that is something I always talk about, but one of the things that I wanted to stress for you today is to spend some time to sit down and shine a light on darkness in your life. And what I mean by that, of course, metaphorically speaking, but what I mean by that is there are areas in your life that are holding you back. And I know I talk about the subconscious quite a bit on this show, but outside of the subconscious, you should just spend time thinking about where you are actually at in relation to all of the things that you want to do. Now, it can be really helpful to think about your lives in terms of different buckets. And so the 6 areas that I think about in my own life are health, wealth, spirituality, adventure, giving back, and then professionalism, right? Career and entrepreneurship and the things I want to do. And so what I like to do is I take my life, and if I want to look at where I'm at, since I know those are the things that are that I sort of need to feed into making my own life what I want it to be, then I sort of rate my happiness and contentment in those areas of my life right now. And so how am I doing on health? Now, as this episode comes out, I hope I'm at least 100 miles into this 247-mile run in Body Armor, which, shameless plug, you guys can support at rickalexander.com/GSTA as in Gold Star Teen Adventures. Go back and listen to Wednesday's episode. I talked all about it. But so I rate myself in health. And then I look at, what is my wealth situation? I know I need a certain amount of money to do the things that I want to do in the world. And so 1 to 10, where am I at in that? And then so you can go down and look at your contentment in these different areas, and it will give you an idea about really where you are, but you have to be super honest with yourself. You have to ask yourself the difficult questions. And so when I talk about shining a light on the darker areas of your life, what I mean are sometimes you know that perhaps wealth is something that you want to get ahead on and get a handle on in order to be who you want to be in the world. But you also don't check your bank account because you're scared of what you're actually going to see, and so you sort of ignore it. And we do that with all kinds of things that we have difficulties with life because, of course, we don't want to face the harshness of the reality that we're actually living in. But ignoring it never makes it better. And if you want to get to that point of clarity that we talked about last Friday, you first need to know where you're beginning, right? You can never get direction somewhere if you don't actually know where you are. That's why when you take off and your GPS says head west and you don't know what direction west is, you get pissed because you don't know where to go, because you don't know where you are. And so you have to know where you are in all of the different areas of your life that you find important. Now, you can use my 6 buckets if you want. I think those are probably important for most people. And like I said, they don't all have to be equal. You don't have to be giving equal time to your health, wealth, spirit, adventure, giving back, and professionalism. The thing that you're doing in life right now, like for me doing this giving back thing, this charity run that I'm doing, it's taking up all of my giving and all of my health. But remember, way back in the day on one of these episodes, I said we're not striving for balance here. We're striving for harmony. And so we're striving to fill each one of these buckets as applicable. They're not all the same size bucket. Your giving bucket might not be the same size as your health bucket. You might need to spend more time working on your health. You might need to prioritize that in a certain season of your life. But regardless, you need to know where you're at and what you're going through. And that way you know where to go. And so, super simple message today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And like I said, figure out where you're at in each one of these areas in your life and then make the applicable changes in order to get where you want to go. And I'll talk to you guys Monday on Morning Coffee.
All right. I must admit, I can't explain